Hello and welcome to this episode of Scrapneat TV. I'm going to be talking today about how to take a 12 by 12 scrapped layout and turn it into an 8.5 by 11. 8.5 by 11 is a great size, or even 8 by 10 if you wanted to do something to frame. More and more people are turning to the smaller size, the 8.5 by 11, or I kind of think returning to, because I remember when I first started scrapping probably 20 years ago, that was kind of the size we used, and then the 12 by 12 became popular, and now there's kind of a trend going back the other way. But a lot of our papers and elements and templates and everything is geared towards 12 by 12. So I'm going to show how easy it is to do both, basically. I'm using this kit that I just recently made for Mother's Day. It's in my VIP library as part of my scrap club, but I will be turning this into a quick page that will be available for free in my free resource library that's on my website. So, and I'm going to offer it in both sizes, both the 12 by 12 and then the 8.5 by 11 that we do here. Okay, so I still have all of my layers intact, so that makes it really easy to make the new one. And let's see if there was anything else I was going to say. I don't remember, so we'll just go ahead and jump in and get started. Oh, I know what it was. It was that one of the reasons I wanted to show an example of this is because you might want to scrap something for Mother's Day and have that for your album if it's a 12 by 12. But you may also want to do it so that you could frame it. And so we're actually going to do 8 by 10 for today, but all three sizes, 8 by 10, 8.5 by 11, and the 12 by 12 quick page will be available on the website, so that if you want to grab it and then just put in your own picture. So the picture will be gone, it will just be a blank space, and you would just put your picture behind it, which can be done in any software that you have, and then you can print it and use it for an album or frame it as a gift for Mother's Day. So to do this, we're going to start with File, New, and this will work the same in pretty much whatever program you're working in. It's just creating a new document. And you want to do the inches, and we're going to start with 8 by 5 by 11, and you want to make sure it's the 300 resolution for pixels per inch, and then click Create. And then I'm also going to, and then if you want the transparency, you can just create a new layer and delete that background layer. Then I'm going to do one more for the 8 by 10. In the same principle. Again, always make sure it's the 300. For web things, it's 72 is fine, but for anything you're going to print, you want to make sure it's 300. And it's much easier to scale down than it is to scale back up again. So now create, same thing, get rid of that. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I'm going to close this. That was just the preview of the kit that we're working with. And this, I don't know if it's in multiple programs, but if you're in Photoshop, and I think in Photoshop Elements, in most of them you can do this, you can look at the arrangement and we can do the 3 up. So this way we have all 3 images here. Or we can go back to just consolidate all to tabs. There we go. And I'm going to do arrange 2 by 2 and make sure we see what size this is. So this is our 8.5 by 11. Okay, so and I'll do the other one after the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this one here, click on this one, and we're going to start at the very bottom. And it's the paper, and I make sure that my auto select and my show transform controls at this point are off, because I'm just going to slide over. So if I slide my paper and then place it down, notice that it didn't mess anything up here because I slid it directly over. If you get part way and then let go of your mouse, it, for example, if I had done this far, well, oh, it's locked, so it won't let me do it there, but other items it might do that. So now we're going to go up to the picture and we're going to slide that across. Now depending, there's, you know, it's not as wide here. Close these little windows. So you can decide, do you want a smaller picture? In which case you would do show transform controls. And you would just make it a little smaller to fit. And do it, you know, however, I kind of want a little off balance there. Okay, now we're going to come back over to here. And then we're going to take all the things that are on this top part. I'm going to hold down the shift as I pick them up. And see how it kind of puts the little transform controls around it. There's the rickrack and the stitching. Okay, and we're going to go that far and we're going to slide it over. Now it's a lot bigger than the other, so now we're just going to hold down the shift. Oops. And make it smaller. And then fit it down. And then we're going to come back over to here. And this paint is from the bottom one, along with the string. And you could make this easier on yourself. I kind of scrapped it with kind of layers all over the place, like as I went along. But if you wanted to keep everything on top or in groups and clusters, otherwise you can just kind of do it this way, little by little, the leaves. Okay, and then we're going to slide that over. And we're going to resize. And fit it down here. And accept it. And then we're going to hit here and go. So you've got the leaves. And we're going to slide that over and make it smaller. So it may not be exactly the same, but it's pretty good. Now, let's pretend that, and so I'll just continue doing this until it's all done and how I like it. And then you've got that in that size. Now let's pretend that you have, we're going to go back to the Consolidate All tabs. Okay, so we're just going to pretend for a moment that you really like this layout, but it's already been saved, and you want to do it into a frame. So we're just going to merge visible, so it's all merged together. You don't have the luxury of using the layers. And we're going to put it together with this one. So we're going to do Window, Arrange. Okay. And then we're just going to slide this over. And at this point, if it's already been the layer saved, you kind of just want to work with it the best that you can. Make it smaller. You might get some edges cut off. But you can still come pretty close to getting it to where you want it to be. And different layouts and different styles, of course, are going to make a difference with that. But I think if you can get most of it there, so we lose some off both sides, so you can just kind of decide, do you want to lose more of the top, more of the side? the last thing you want to do is move it this way because that just scrunches it up. So don't do that. Fight the urge to do that. Now, what you can also do is you can continue to do this a little bit more and slide it so you get more of the layout that you want in here. And then you can highlight down here and you can open up a white paper. Or pink, just depending on what you want to do. And this you can stretch out just because it is a 12 by 12 paper, but I forgot that when you, there you go. So it isn't perfectly even with the stripes, and you may even, whoops, want to put this all the way to the top. And the other thing you could do is add the pink paper and just line it up. So I'm going to actually open this one so that, whoops, here we go. And, oh, I guess it's already open. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I'll just also open it wider. So pink and white striped. So here you can just move it down so that it matches with your other. And then you've got, yeah, and I think with that I'll even do a little more and get it all the way in, so I don't lose any of that. And then, oops, just adjust this so that it's about the same space. And that would be beautiful framed. So it looks a little different from our 12 by 12. It's a little smaller and we've got more of the negative space down here. But that's a great way to still get kind of that scrap look. And I was thinking what an amazing gift this would make for Mother's Day, especially for a grandmother. I'm thinking of doing that for both of my moms, and having a picture of them with their grandchildren. And especially if you do black and white, and make the photo most of the frame, then you've got this nice little, using the kit and the scrapbook look just gives it a little added thing. And then you can add a title or tag or just leave it simple, but a great way to give kind of a little extra special gift to Mom for Mother's Day. So, okay, those are some of the tricks I use if I want to make my 12 by 12 layout smaller, depending on if I have layers or don't have layers saved. And I will put the quick pages of this up on, they'll all be available on the website, so you can get it in any of the 3 sizes. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.